Hello and welcome to the Episcopal Church of the Messiah. I'm here today with Paul Cook Giles. He's been a member of Messiah for a good long while and has a special interest in the history of this beautiful building. Paul himself has a gorgeous home here in the area that is the prettiest place I know. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
You're welcome. So Paul, how long have you been coming to Messiah?
Since 2000.
Since 2000.
16 years.
That's a great amount of time. And what keeps you coming? And how does the building itself play a part in your being a member of the church?
Well, I think the thing that keeps me coming back is the people. There is a sense of warmth and welcome here the first time you walk through the doors. The fact that I and everyone else is warmly embraced and welcomed makes for a very strong desire to repeat that experience again and again. And when I'm traveling, I generally make a point of going to church wherever I happen to be and seeing how things are different and how things are the same. And the welcome here is something special. It's a great feeling. I think that the physical space that we are in, this 130-year-old building, provides a great framework for that sense of welcome and hospitality. The warmth of the wood, the richness of the stained glass, the shine of polished metal. These are all things that we don't have a whole lot of in our lives today. And I think that to a certain extent, there's a sense of stepping out of the mundane routine of our lives, which are filled with glass and concrete and industrial carpeting, into this special, warm environment. Father Brad used to say that this building was well prayed in, that over the course of decades, this building had been shaped into a pattern of welcome and prayer. And I feel that every time I walk through those doors. There's
definitely that warmth that, like you said, comes from the people here, but definitely maybe the walls are alive, so to speak, with
those good vibrations?
Yes, from all the prayers that have been here over all these years. I know that preservation is important to you, and you did a big study a while back about it. And tell us, how important is the preservation of this church building to you?
Well, it's very important to me personally, and it's important to me as a person who is engaged with the history of this area of California. Ernest Coxhead, who designed this building, and in fact designed a series of church buildings up the California coast as far north as San Francisco, built something that has endured the test of time since 1882. And when you visit his other buildings, I've been to 3 of them, you can see a lot of stylistic elements repeated from building to building that tend to unify his architectural vision of a sanctified space. This building is the oldest building in continuous public use in Orange County today. There are buildings that are older, some of them in ruins. The mission at San Juan Capistrano springs to mind. There are a couple of private homes that predate this building, but this is the oldest building in continuous public use. So it's significant to the history of the county, not just to architecture. But the fact that this building is so well preserved that the interior is essentially unaltered, that it continues to be the centerpiece of a vibrant community, I think makes it a really special resource that needs to be not only preserved, but protected.
So Paul, this is the time of the year for pledging, and it's important for keeping this church alive in so many ways, and obviously to keep this building standing, we need pledges.
We do. The cost of maintaining the historic fabric of this structure is not insignificant. There are maintenance expenses that have to be met every year. Just keeping the lights on and the water running but not leaking are important tasks. I had the chance to volunteer here at the office for about 6 or 7 months while I was unemployed last year. And I was amazed at how much upkeep goes on during the course of the week that the vast majority of the congregation never sees. We had a leak in one of the water lines under the slab, and when our water bill went up by a factor of 10 in the space of 2 months, we had a problem that had to be fixed, and it had to be fixed expeditiously. This building has stood for 130 years, and well maintained, it will stand for another 200. The old growth California redwood is an extremely stable building material. The lath and plaster of the walls provides excellent insulation. It is a sturdy, strong building, but we need to keep it that way. And if we let it go, it will become weakened.
That would not be a good thing.
It would not.
Well, I love your enthusiasm about the church, the spirituality of the church, the welcoming of the church, but also of the building, because it's a magnificent building itself.
It is.
With lots of history and I'm sure stories to tell within its walls. So I want to ask you, Paul, the theme of this year's stewardship is One Heart, Many Voices. What does that mean to you?
Wow. When we say many voices, my mind naturally turns to vocal music. Messiah has a brilliant vocal music program, an instrumental music program as well. The tradition of Anglican choral work is tremendously rich, and as one of the choir, I get to immerse myself in that heritage. Under Dr. Sheridan's direction, we are learning more and more about Anglican liturgical music than we ever have before. The fact that when we sing congregationally, everyone participates, all those voices blending together, is something that never fails to move me. Music is very important to me, and I feel that it is important to Messiah. So One Heart, Many Voices says to me that there are lots and lots of people working together with a common goal.
Thank you so much, Paul, and we thank you for having so much concern and care and love of Messiah.
Thank you, Sue, and I hope everyone will join me in supporting our pledge drive this year.